Welcome to Spellweaver Mechanics, the series on card interactions and gameplay. On this episode, we take a look at combat.
Toss the bucket.
When combat begins, each player starts with a hand of 7 cards and is given the option of either keeping those 7 cards or performing what's called a mulligan and redrawing all 7 cards. If you are the player that goes second, you will also have the Spark of Initiative, which allows you to sacrifice that card at any point in time for 1 extra mana. There are actually 4 phases to combat: the deploy phase, the combat phase, the reinforce phase, and the end turn phase. Although the end turn phase in and of itself is not necessarily a 4th phase unless you are on the defensive, thus you have the last say in combat and can play instant spells. This end turn button is synonymous with this end turn button right here. So as you can see on the board, we have a creature on the board. Our opponent has a creature on the board. I'm going to do a Divine Offering. A Divine Offering allows you to throw a card back into your deck, not into the graveyard, and look for a shrine in the top 4 cards of your deck. In this case, we do have a shrine in the top 4 cards of our deck. I'm going to choose a Nature Shrine. I'm going to play this Nature Shrine. This is all happening in the first or in the deploy phase. This is how we set up our battlefield per se. In this case, I'm going to choose a Tornado Outbreak, bounce the Silverblade Warrior back, and in this case, Tornado Outbreak actually puts it back in the owner's hand. Now our deploy phase is set. There is nothing else that we can do at this point in time. So we will attack enemy hero with all of our creatures using the quick button, or you can simply drag and drop the creature to the enemy hero or to any other creature that happens to be on the board. Once we declare our final attack, notice we are now moved into the combat phase. That is going to be the end of our turn. However, you'll notice that it paused at the reinforce phase. It only pauses at the reinforce phase if there is some other action after combat that you are able to perform. In this case, there is an action we can perform. It is our skill Native Terrain. We have 1 mana left. We have a skill that costs 1 mana, so we can actually give all creatures we have Swift at this point in time. Now, this is not a good option because this creature, now that it has attacked, is exhausted, so giving it Swift will not allow us to attack again. However, it is paused on the reinforce phase simply because we have another action we can perform after combat. These are generally instants or other creatures you can play, other spells you can play if you have the mana and did not commit them in the combat phase. Once we click end turn, you'll notice it moves to the end turn and immediately cycles to our opponent's side of the board. Things to consider during attack declaration are as follows. Only creatures in the front row or flying creatures can attack. Only creatures in the front row can be attacked. Creatures played this turn or moved to the front row this turn cannot attack unless they are Swift. Each creature only deals its damage once, and this damage is divided among the opposing creatures. As long as the speed of a creature is at least 1, it can attack the opposing player. However, to attack an enemy creature, the speed of the attacking creature has to be at least as high as the speed of the creature to be attacked. In this case, the Death Trap only has a speed of 1, and the Goblin has a speed of 2. Therefore, it cannot attack the Goblin, but it can attack the hero. Multiple creatures can attack the same target. If they do, the order in which they are declared as attackers is the order in which combat will be resolved. In this case, Gibo and Roni will both attack the Angel Blessed Knight in order to kill it. Keeping in mind, however, that regardless of the order chosen, the Angel Blessed Knight only needs to do 1 damage per creature to kill it, so they will both die. Damage dealt to a creature is exactly the amount of damage needed in order to kill or destroy it. In this example, we use Frost Elemental to put a freeze debuff on a Hunting Gigantodon, which has 4 health, and our Ambushing Sharpshooter only has 2 attack. However, if you notice, it now only requires 1 point of damage in order to kill this beast. Keep in mind, with a situation such as Lifebound, you gain 1 life for each point of damage dealt, and in this case you will only get 1 life back because that is all that is required. Changing the speed of either the attacker or the attacker's target after the attack declaration has been made does not cancel the attack. In this example, the zombie is about to kill the Sunchaser Aurite, so I change its speed to 3. Now this is a special case with a special card that it is allowed to change its speed at any point in time, so long as it has energy. However, you'll notice that it does not affect the combat because it has already been declared, and the zombie wins. There is another special consideration to keep in mind, and that is with the card Murder Instinct. Murder Instinct attaches to a creature and allows it to attack multiple creatures, and it is deadly. In this case, we have it on a ranged creature, so it will attack first, and it only requires 1 point of damage per creature. However, if this attack was cancelled by a block from another creature, a single blocker can prevent all of these combats. So that's the nuts and bolts of combat with a few special considerations. There is a lot more unique situations that you may find within Spellweaver as you're playing, and be sure to post in the comments below if you've got any questions, and I'll try to address those as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the boards.
Ready.